Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and thanks so much for watching. We are building a freaking house and I am so excited to finally tell you guys all about it today. So if you missed the announcement over on my Instagram, my husband and I shared on Thursday the 4th that we are building our literal dream home. We are so excited. We're so grateful. It really wouldn't have happened without the support of you guys. You obviously contribute now since I fully stay home with Ezra, like just buying things through my links, you know, all of that, following me here, like all of that has made it possible for us to build our dream home. We are so grateful for you guys. We are so excited to get the process started. I will be sharing like the whole process on my Instagram and our vlog channel. I will probably do some videos here too. It just depends on how, honestly, how they do as far as like, you know, the YouTube algorithm. If they don't push your video out, then there's no point in like filming it and making that huge effort to put a video up on a channel if it's not gonna perform well. So I'm not sure if we'll cover it here, but I definitely know it'll be over on our vlog channel and my Instagram. So I want to get into all the details. I'm going to bring Sam in to do a little Q&A with y'all, and let's go ahead and just get started. I cannot wait to tell you about this crazy process it's been so far. Okay, so I've probably talked about it here a couple times. I know I've talked about it on the vlog channel, but we actually opened up a savings account like February of 2019 and started saving for our home. We found a house plan that we really loved, and at least in the state of South Carolina, and that's, I want to be clear, I don't know how everything works buying, and I don't know how it works in other states. So everything that I'm sharing is just the South Carolina build process. We know you have to have a little bit more money down, at least from what our understanding was a few years ago. I know that it kind of depends on who you use, but we opened up a savings account February of 2019 and we found this like amazing floor plan that we love. So we had been saving up pretty continuously every single month, money aside, on this home that we were gonna build. And the plan was to actually buy the property that we are on now and build this home on this property. We weren't sure how it was gonna work. Like we were gonna live in this home and then build the home on this property and then knock this house down, move this house off the lot. We weren't sure. Saved up for it until October of 2020. Followed us on our vlog channel around that time, you know that we had a very small house fire, and it wasn't because of this house. This house is very old, very much so not built up to code. It happened to be this house that it happened with. It was something with the power line outside, like something that went wrong with like the wires. It was a Duke Energy problem and they were actually the ones who had to fix it. But regardless, when you live in a home, even though it could have been any home, it's hard to feel safe after you have had a house fire. So we kind of started throwing around the idea of potentially in 2021 building this house. We finally put pen to paper. I want to say it was about February or March, and we're like, hey, okay, so we can afford to build this home. Let's go ahead and get started. So a couple things. We were at the time not the most excited about building on this lot for a couple reasons that I won't really get into, but it just no longer felt right to buy this lot and build a home on it. Now this is like 2.98 acres that we live on now. It just has a lot of like property lines that back up to it. Although it's a huge yard, there's like, I think it's 6 property lines that back up to this, and it didn't feel right. So we started to throw around the idea of buying another set of property, or like another piece of property. At the same time, we also were about to buy the floor plan that we had loved since, like, fallen in love with since 2019. And one day I was just scrolling in the car. I had pulled up the house plan and I absolutely loved it. We thought this was the house we were gonna build. And I scrolled down, I was looking at it, and then it said like other designs from this architect. And I saw this other house and I was like, oh, I really like that house. Probably only like 25 square feet more than the original house plan that we were talking about. Hold on, the baby is crying. Okay, so if you hear him crying, he's been a little bit more fussy in the like 4th developmental leap, so he eats a lot more frequently, but he eats for less time each feed session, so I never know if he's hungry or not. Okay, so we were talking about the house plan. So we ended up looking at this other house plan and we just fell in love with it. Like we just kind of kept going back to it. So we finally said, you know, it's only like 25 more square feet than the other house plan. Let's just buy this one because it feels right. While we're going through this, you know, this stuff, again, it still takes a long time. We are actually still talking about, you know, the potential of not building on this piece of property. So all the plans we had just kind of like went out the door. So we've got our dream house plan and we end up, there's land that's that's by my parents that was already being divided up and sold off. So it's still big plots of land, but it doesn't have as many, you know, property lines that back up to it. It's right by my parents, and it just felt more right to do that. We can build our dream home on that piece of property, but we were waiting on like surveyors, and they had to get new plats for all this land that's being divided up. So cut to literally, it is like August of 2021 at this point by the time we're actually ready to get the ball rolling, and I am pregnant at that point. So I was exhausted. It was a year ago today I found out I was pregnant, August 7th of 2021. So first trimester exhaustion smacked me like a ton of bricks, and I was dragging my feet. Like there were days I could barely keep my eyes open, and when I was having to work, so I just didn't want to think about a home process, but we were still trying to keep trucking. So we kind of did our research and narrowed it down to 2 companies that we really wanted to work with. He also has found his voice. He just likes to scream for fun, so I promise if you hear my kid screaming, he's okay. The microphone's very sensitive sometimes to that. So we find 2 companies, and we're like, let's just go have a conversation with the 2 companies and kind of see what works. We met with one company, and we really didn't end up loving them. We had heard good things about their interest rates and their build process, but they were like, you had to like take your monthly payment to an office that's like super far away from our house every month to pay. They won't let you pay it online when you are, you know, like paying those like interest payments while you're building. And the lady just wasn't our favorite person. She didn't really listen. She was just so quick to be like, well, I need to run your credit. Like, let's get this application started. She really didn't want to answer any questions up front. And so we weren't loving her. So we find this other company that we wanted to meet with, and we ended up falling in love with this lady. She's so nice. The company had like the same interest rates, the same close process as this other place, and we just loved her. The problem was I wanted to have my name on the home loan as well. We wanted both of our names on the home, and in order to include the income that I make from social media, I had to have 2 years of business taxes, and at the time I only had 1. So it's October. I am still in the thick of technically the first trimester, although that exhaustion did kind of carry over for a couple weeks into my second try. I just was like, you know what? Let's just call it what it is. Let's get through this first and second trimester. We will try again in January with this company. We'll get my taxes done. It'll be good to go. I really thought that like my taxes were gonna be quick, and it just didn't work out like that. But it was just such a God thing the way it worked. Like the stars just aligned and it worked out perfectly. So we get to January, I drop off my taxes with the accountant. It takes a little bit longer to do my taxes just because again, I do now have like social media included in that, and it just was a lot longer of a process. It takes a lot longer to get the forms and stuff. So when we got our taxes back, I had just gotten out of my 37-week appointment when we got the email, your taxes are done, you can come pick up the forms. So we send them to her. She's on vacation. By the time she gets back from vacation, looks at everything and sends us the pre-approval letter. Ezra had been born. And so she sends us the pre-approval letter. We think this is it. We're like, finally it's working. We have our land. We have our perfect house plan. We've got our pre-approval letter. We are good to go. And she emails us, and it takes big corporations, it takes a little bit longer, and she says, I want to go ahead and give you a heads up. We're backed up on some things, so usually it takes us about like 60 days till we get to closing. She's like, we're looking at about a 75 to 80 day process until you get your clear to close because we're just backed up. And I was like, oh. So she calls us after we enter the underwriting process and says, hey, listen, you don't have enough lines of credit. And we knew that was going to come up. We do follow the Dave Ramsey method. We've paid off so much debt. Like we don't have, car payments. We don't have, like my student loans are paid off. My husband's are almost paid off at this point. That was literally the only line of credit we had. And we did think that keeping it open would be helpful. And she says, you don't have enough lines of credit. So to quote it, we have unicorn numbers as credit scores, like super, super, super high credit scores, but not enough of it. And I guess that makes you a risk to a company. So they looked at it and said, it's a risk to give them money. So they can choose to they gave us 2 options. I think we had to present them with like $200,000 worth of assets over the course of like so many, like we had to have $200,000 assets in our name for so long, or we can make the choice to pull out of working with them. And I was so crushed when I heard that. But she said, I actually have a friend who just left this company. She can have you closed in 45 days. I've called her, I've explained your situation. I've explained it as much as I legally can. And she's like, if I have your permission, I will just send her everything that I have for you. So you don't have to really restart this whole process. She can just get the ball rolling. And I said, let's just do it. Like something in my gut was just like, let's just do this, because at this point it's been almost a year. I'm exhausted. I just want a house for my kid. We meet with this new lady, and it was like instant. I just knew this was meant to be. She gets all the paperwork done, and within like 2 days has the loan process started. You're on the phone with that loan company. They explained everything so easily. They're just the nicest people in the world. They were so much easier to get in contact with than this other lady. Again, she was like worked for a huge company. This company is a little bit smaller, but they were just so easy to work with. And within 7 days, we were back in the underwriting process. Like, I couldn't even believe how quick it was happening with this company. So cut to, we enter the underwriting process, which is where we got stalled last time. And I was so nervous because at the same time they're doing this, they're also doing our land appraisal. And the original company did really kind of give us a lowball offer on what they were gonna allow us to, like what they appraised the land at. And I was like, whatever, it's gonna work out. I just know it's supposed to work with this company. And we get an email that this company that we are working with is giving us almost double the original company was offering us for our land value. And I literally sat at the table and I cried, because I knew that that was just, that it was meant to be. I was like, this was meant to be the company that we work with, because here they are. We now have double the land value, plus we still have some cash, because we were gonna have to make up like the percent that you have to put down, you know, with this other company. They were giving us double. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And then we get our clear through underwriting, and we ball just like kept rolling with this company. So it really just made sense to me. I didn't understand why at the time, but we did find out there's a piece of land that was directly behind ours that was owned by somebody else that decided to sell that piece of property off, and a developer is coming in and they're putting 4 homes on it that are similar in price to the home that we're gonna be putting on this piece of property. So it did shoot the land value up, but we were lowballed on our original appraisal. So it just ended up working out that like we now have this huge down payment because our land value is double what, you know, almost double what this original company said. So we got our clear to close after 29 days. You guys, it was originally going to be 80, and we got it after 29 days. I couldn't believe it. We got our clear to close it was like the 29th or something. We got our clear to close on the 27th, and we signed the papers on August 3rd at 2 o'clock at the afternoon. We went to the attorney's office, and it really genuinely felt surreal. Even the attorney was talking about, like, he was looking at all of our paperwork and he was like, this is incredible. Like, the land value that they gave you, the fact that you still have 3 acres, that there's not a lot of people around you, but there is. It's like enough that it helped, but it didn't, you know, it's not gonna be this like busy area. And it was just like, truly, it was one of those situations where when I look back, I was so crushed that it didn't work out the way I originally wanted it to last August and September, but it was just, it was meant to be. And the attorney has said it, my mom has said it, like, you can refinance on a home, you know, if the interest rate's high. You can't refinance the price of wood. So like wood prices are coming down now, window prices are coming down now. While there are delays, they're not as bad as they once were. So it's just like, I can't say it enough. It just ended up working so perfectly, and we feel so blessed, and we are so excited that this process has finally started. I'm gonna go grab my husband now. We're gonna answer some questions, and I'll show you guys a little like clip of the land, because I'm gonna take one actually later today, because construction's supposed to start this week, and I wanna make sure I like get videos throughout the entire process. Before we start the Q&A portion, I do wanna go ahead and tell you guys that, just like Doug, in the middle of this video, Ezra, he's 4 months old, kind of decided he wanted to scream. You can hear his like rattle going in the background and stuff, so I know it's a little distracting. I'm sorry about that, but we do have a 4-month-old. My channel, I keep it as real as possible, and that's just reality. I wanted Sam to be here to answer the questions. So if you don't like hearing baby rattles and a baby scream, then this is not the video for you, because they are here. So just a quick little disclaimer. Yeah, we did as best as we could, but he's 4 months old, so this is where we're at.
Either he screams at me or he screams at the toys. That's where he's at right now.
Man!
Hey.
Y'all know we keep it real here on my channel. Hey, BB! Oh, what is that? What is that hold? Look, you wanna sit with mommy and daddy? A year ago today, I found out I was making this.
See, he took his toys away. He's mad.
All right, we're gonna try and answer these questions as quick as we possibly can and as least destructive as possible, but I make no promises. How far will you be from family? Next to him.
Next to hers, and like less than 10 minutes to my immediate.
Yeah, immediate family. Yeah, so it ended up working out, like I told you guys, like property is like, it's the best. How did you find this property and know it was the spot? I would say that it just didn't have six homes that back up to it. A lot of people ask just like floor plan details. I guess we'll get into that in a minute, but I do want to say a couple of things just so that it's kind of clear before. I will not be sharing the floor plan. One, because I mean, we changed a pretty decent amount of stuff.
We made minor changes to a lot of things, so it doesn't match the original floor plan.
It doesn't, but also
the exterior would, but the interior.
Yeah, but also it's not safe, and even more than that, we will not. This is a decision I made. And I know I've told you, we will not ever be filming Ezra's room.
He's not interested in
and the other room that we have for the other baby. People will film walkthroughs of their home, and it's like you're literally putting a map of your house on the internet. And like even more than that, I want Ezra to like know that his room is his safe space, and it's not. So if I share a like photo of Ezra. This is a disaster. If I share a photo of Ezra's room, like it will be a photo. I will never film like a walkthrough. We'll never film in there, because my kids are off limits to that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we will not ever be.
Which is not anything against buying a home, but anytime you buy a home now, the virtual walkthroughs are like everything.
Oh yeah.
When you're building a home.
Like Zillow.
That's not out there. I mean, somebody could always find the floor plan and go to that kind of link if they wanted to, but
yeah.
Every online real estate agency now, there are pictures of the home. You go in and like from the first time you could hit the front door and know exactly where to go.
Yeah, and we're not gonna just give over that like handbook literally to our home.
Not that we're like crazy paranoid people, but
no. So just wanted to make that clear, but we'll talk a little bit more about the floor plan in a minute. How did you design the house plans to be so that you can grow with your house and not outgrow it? I think this is the time we break their hearts and tell them we are only having one more baby.
Family planning. We knew how many kids. We could always have twins the second time, and like we wouldn't be prepped, and we had to change things. But we knew we only wanted two. Mm-hmm. So we kind of picked a
plan that works with two.
Yeah, three bedroom home to family our size.
It's technically 4 because we are adding a closet to the study, but it's a 3-bedroom home.
And it's very open. That is one thing. It's very open.
Very
so
open.
That you're not going to feel like even if we did end up with 3 kids, they wouldn't be on top of each other.
Yeah. And also, I think it's very clear to note we are not hoarders.
And take him since you're trying to hold the phone.
And neither one of us. We don't attach to things very easily. When you say like, I think we're really quick to let go of things and throw things away and purge. So. That's kind of the plan as of right now. How does the financing work when building? So again, this is South Carolina and this is only when building. So at least the requirements from what our experience is that it's actually a little bit harder. You have to have a bigger down payment. You have to have at least a minimum of a 700 credit score.
And a lot of the credit stuff you can't outright. We can't say anything about the credit because any lender would lend you anything if you come up with enough money, you meet their requirements.
Right.
So
there's some leeway.
Your credit score is like not really our business to say, but like the better off you are, the easier it is to get a bank on board for sure.
And even then, another thing is assets. They require, at least both of the places we worked, do you want to pass fire? Required that we have so much money left in our savings, even after we gave them the down payment, just in case. So that's at least our experience in South Carolina.
If you're asking what the like contract stuff is, that's different per each company and lender too. Because like some offer one-time closing, meaning you get one contract that's a build that transitions on its own. Others are you have to do a full contract for your build, then you do a full contract for your loans. Yeah. That depends on who you go with. Yeah, that's not for us to pick, and your state might be different.
Yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think this video's gonna turn out?
Solid
4. How many rooms? So technically, 3-bedroom. On the plan, but we're adding a closet to the study, so we will have 4.
Do you look at the lens? Do you see just the little outline?
Yep. Telling you, scale of 1 to 10. This is our life. Anything that stood out to you on this floor plan, or did you design it yourself?
The screened-in porch on the back that had the option to do an outdoor like built-in grill was one thing that we both immediately liked a lot.
I also really liked the pantry. The pantry called for a location for a second fridge, and like my mom has 2 fridges, so I know how cool that is for like entertaining and stuff. I'm trying to get the tracking to work on both of our faces. It's just not working. And then also I think that like game room / den, whatever you choose to call it. So there's actually a second living room. The original plan that we liked had a finished room over the garage. And that's what I kind of like, the architect just essentially moved that room and like shoved it into the floor plan. And there's this like like game room slash den, and I think that would just be really cool because it will like grow with Ezra, grow with our kids. It's
on what will be kind of the kids side of the
kids
house
like
too,
wing
so
that we'll never film, and it's like it's got doors, so it's like great, you know, for if they want to watch a movie, we want to watch a movie, and you know, it's really cool. So there were a bunch of things, but definitely that screen and porch was one that was like really nice because it has a built-in grill, and that was something we were gonna have to add to the other floor plan, and this one came with it already.
Yeah, that other floor plan that we had first picked too, it did not call for a screened-in porch, and the covered porch section
was so
had it was like a P shape, and so it was like a 4-foot deep section that was long and skinny, so it would have been nice to like put a bench or a chair, but not really usable.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been any. Yeah, so it's just really nice. What are you most excited about in the new home? Not being in this house.
The kitchen. I'm like, the longer we're here, the harder it is to do things in our kitchen.
Yep, I feel like we've already broken up with this house.
It sucks that our kitchen is also the entry point for this house, because then it's like, it's the place everything gets put down when you walk in.
Will you be sharing the floor plan? No. Again, it wouldn't really matter. Like, we've changed. The exterior would look the same, but we've changed things.
The actual like blueprint, no, but.
Someone wants to know what the square footage of the house is. I don't really know what it is.
It's 3,300 heated, I think. Heated and cooled.
Is it?
I think it's 33 heated and cooled, and it's just under 4 with the garage. I think it's measured out at 30. I think it's 30. Well, so because of what we added to the master bedroom section.
That's true. We did expand that out.
It's
because the closet in the master was like the size of my thumb.
Yeah. And because we're building on a hill, we had to add a door on the back porch where it normally would call for just being able to walk out.
That's true. Okay,
we had to extend the porch a little to give it
square footage counts for the heated space. So
yeah.
The question that I got the most: will your dad be building the house? You guys have a really good memory. Yes, he will. My father is a builder. Design. Are you still gonna be living in South Carolina when you build your new home? Yes, I'm never leaving this state. If I do, it will be a secondary home when we hit the lotto one day.
If you're from South Carolina to like North Carolina, that's about.
Or like Florida, even then.
No, I will not live in Florida.
Well, if we hit the lotto, we'll buy a beach house. Are you gonna sell the house you're living in? So I think we should kind of explain that. What's the most polite way to put it? This house is one solid wind blow away from being toothpicks. We did not realize that. We rent from my parents. They own this piece of property.
That's the starting point. We rent, so we're not the ones that would sell it either way.
Yeah,
we rented to be able to put money aside.
My father is going to, his plan was to build, to divide this property up when we decided we weren't going to build here. He's going to divide this property up and build on it. This home, my father owns it, and we rent from them, and it wasn't until the house fire that we realized this house is literally toothpicks. Like, it could be just toothpicks at any point in time.
It's also built in 1954. Yep. And it's had numerous times the wiring, the plumbing.
Like, this house is probably why they make building codes now. Yes. And I think it just wasn't, we weren't aware of that until...
we knew it was old and it's not insulated well.
But we didn't know it was that bad. Like, we thought, so our original plan was when we were going to build on this piece of property is actually you can donate homes, and like they will come and like do what they have to do to take the home. They will renovate it. So they'll renovate the home and then donate it to charity. That was actually what we were going to do, but when we realized how bad off this house is, we knew that wasn't an option. He's getting sleepy, but him's fighting to sleep. Do you anticipate any delays? I don't feel like it would be building a home if there was not any delays.
Luckily, all of the subs that will be used are all like, so they've already recommended. They ordered like 3 months earlier.
Yeah, and like that's what the other day we were talking to my dad, and he said that the guy who was talking about the framing is like, all right, well, so I know this, so let's go ahead and get the windows ordered. They know that like we're already gonna go ahead and order the HVAC. Like everyone is prepared for it, and the time frame is working out. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be building if you didn't have.
They're now so used to building with the delays that they're like.
Yeah, it's almost like par for the course.
It's not really a delay. They just are having to kind of.
To not have a delay would be almost weird, I feel.
I just hope our appliances are the one thing that I think could end up delayed. That would.
1 or 2 story home. We both are. I lived up. He lived down in his house when we grew up, and we both agreed we hated it. So we are having a 1-story home. Miss me with some stairs. I don't want them. Do you have any inspo photos or the style of your new house? I will actually put some up on the screen. I actually have a degree in interior design. I worked in residential for 6 months before moving to commercial. Commercial is superior in my opinion, but not when it comes to my house. So I feel like I literally have formal training for what's about to happen. So that's what everyone was like reaching out and giving me all this like, yes, it's gonna be stressful. And I'm like, it's not gonna be stressful for me. I've literally waited 27 years for what's about to happen. Like, I'm ready for this. And so is Ezra. Oh man. How much do you have to save prior or an idea? So again, it really depends on the state, the home, all that stuff. For us, we put down enough to eliminate, I think it's called private mortgage insurance, PMI, is that what it's called?
Yes, you can.
That was always our goal, which is why we picked our house plan in 2019 and, you know.
Save towards that plan.
Yeah, because.
We didn't save and then pick a plan for what we had saved.
Like look up how much people just in private mortgage insurance, they put in, like it can make a home payment $1,000 difference.
Yes.
So we saved enough to eliminate that. We'll leave that there. What made you want to build instead of buy something? There are builders around that build homes, the best way that Sam put it, to sell, not to live in. The quality is subpar on a good day. And there are homes we looked at, like even if you just go, that are more expensive than our home and the quality is not it. And I don't know if that's me being a designer or having been a designer or me, you know, not having my dad as a contractor, so I know quality, but I know it when I see it, and that ain't it.
Well, the other thing around here that's hard is that if you want a home that has any kind of land or space, you're getting homes that were built in the like 60s, 50s.
Yeah, so you have to renovate them.
Larger lots. So yeah, so you either buy a new home that's on a 1 or less acre lot
in a subdivision.
You buy a 3-ish acre property that has a home that's 40 to 50 years old.
Yeah.
That needs.
The kitchens were all brown.
Yeah.
All like brown old
There
school.
are so many houses that we had just kind of like looked around online to see what was selling that still had wood panel on the inside of these homes that were like listed crazy prices with wood paneling.
Yeah. People, it almost made me angry because people were slapping prices on their homes and people were buying it for like $150,000 more than it was worth solely because they could.
Yep. Pink tile, pink toilet.
Yeah. Carpet in the bathrooms. I am not kidding. There is a home that was $700,000 and someone bought it and it had pink carpet all in the bathroom. Yeah. So that's, yeah. I also, the design degree, like I would go into a home and I just would see something I knew we needed to change. Like there was a home that was really cute. I wouldn't buy it, but it had like black grout in the bathroom. And I was like, no. So, yeah, that was no way we answered all the questions. I guess we did because we got a lot of the same questions. So yeah, it was just a big, yeah.
This is the pineapple.
Right, Mr. Mouse? A lot of people just ask, like, can you share INSPO pics? Another thing I got a lot was, will you be sharing the process? Absolutely. I will insert some clips at the end of the home, of the land. Now, we will share, and I think I kind of covered this in the beginning. It's gonna kind of be trial and error on this channel to see if I talk about it on this channel, because YouTube algorithm sometimes doesn't favor your videos when you all of a sudden share something that is not usually related to your channel. But I will definitely be covering it on the vlog channel as it happens, and my Instagram. Those are like the two main places. But apart from that, I think that's really all the questions we got. This video has been a disaster, but we have a 4-month-old, and I feel like we did pretty good to have a 4-month-old.
4-month-old on Tuesday.
Monday. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the 7th.
8th.
Is it the 8th?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Swear. Today's the 7th.
I guess today is the 7th.
Be 4 months old tomorrow. I feel like we did pretty good.
Gracious.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. We are so excited to get this process started. Love ya. We'll see you in the next video. All right, so here is it's a very like straightforward strip of property. And this is full, like I'm already on some of it. This is full 3 acres. I'm not gonna walk it just cause 1, I'm in like flip-flops, but 2, snakes and stuff. So this tree line right here is what backs up to 1 piece of property. And then just on the other side of that tree line is where they're putting the 4 homes, but they do have to leave a thick enough, tree line. Like they're going to leave a thick enough tree line because they really still kind of want to make those homes private. That land could probably fit closer to like 10 homes on it. That is way more property than ours, but they want to keep the privacy. So yeah, this is the property. It's so beautiful, very straight, and I am just trying to kind of, there's another piece of property like over here. Again, I don't want to share like, all of it, but this is it. It's so beautiful. This tree I think is staying. That one is going. That tree right there is literally in the smack middle of our living room. And then the tree that's like very little, that one is going to stay. So very, very excited.